Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
You can navigate the legal and emotional journey of divorce and exit a marriage the way you entered it, with mindfulness, love, and respect. Solace Divorce Mediation is a full-service law practice helping couples focus on the health and well-being of children and their forever co-parenting family. Our streamlined divorce journey offers flat fees with an estimated completion time frame of 2 to 4 months. If you or a friend need us, visit solacedivorce.com.
What is that in front of my face? Only one of the greatest books of the year. Hello, 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 hello. Let me get that off the screen, but take a good look. Take a good look. You'll be glad you did. Put that image up there for a reason. Welcome to today's 90-minute television special that is guaranteed, if you allow it, to bring some things to your life that very well could be right there with you for the rest of your life. And in a good way, a great way. So, Dr. Lauren with you. Welcome to another 90-minute special. Like I said, E360 TV and Trajectory TV. We love doing these things. It's our way of feeling like a PBS experience, and which is being of service. And particularly, speaking for myself, moments like these and these specials are very special to me because they have changed something within my journey. Okay. So today, the Metabolic Balance Experience is what we're going to get into. And if you've been watching my pages or just been out there in the world, because it's moving around in a very, very fast trajectory. Here's the book, and it is international bestseller. Beautiful book. This was the first investment for me, and I was compelled to just order it, and that's how it started. And today, so I'm going to get Jane in here and let her take us down the path of enlightenment. And also we have Nicole here, and they're going to come in. So listen, let's get going. Let me get the girls in. Ooh, is that a no-no? I'm used to being up here by myself. I'm just Hey, ladies, how are you?
We're good. How are you doing today?
Good. My energy feels more youthful lately. I wonder what that could be about. Welcome. Jane, I'm just going to step over Coachy now, and Nicole, and let you just take us from there, right?
Okay.
Introduce. The stage is yours.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lauren. So Yeah, I wrote this book, The Metabolic Balance Kitchen, but we'll come back around to that. But I want to explain to you, how did I come to this? Over 15 years ago, I was invited to a seminar to listen to a German doctor speak about metabolic syndrome, metabolic dysfunction. And as a nutritionist, I was trying everything in my toolkit to help people to lose weight, to help them with inflammation. I was working in a doctor's office. I got them pretty much there, but I couldn't get them completely to the finish line. So I knew there was something missing. And when Dr. Wolf opened his mouth at this seminar in the middle of the wintertime, I had one of those moments. It was an epiphany for me. I knew this was the new direction that I was going to take. So I left that seminar feeling absolutely excited. I couldn't wait for him to come back. He came back 2 months later. I took this course to become a metabolic balance coach. And the moment I finished that course, I ran out of that room and I started to sell it to some of my friends. And then I started selling it to the clients, and I was godsmacked at the results. This program is so unique because the program is individualized, it's customized for every person. It takes into consideration their full health history. Plans are created based off of their 36 blood values and their personal health history, and they are matched together, and it's sent to Germany, where metabolic balance currently exists in 45 countries around the world. And every single client, and I've done close to 1,500 of these now, every single client gets their own customized and individual plan, whether they want to lose 2 pounds, whether they want to lose 100 pounds, whether they have rheumatoid arthritis, headaches, migraines, eczema, psoriasis. We can do a plan for anybody because it's specifically targeting the visceral fat. That's that nasty fat behind your belly button. And this is why we have something called metabolic syndrome. So the plan ultimately changes the way insulin works in your body by these 8 magical rules. So over the years, I have coached obviously hundreds of people. I literally feel so blessed to be part of their journey. I do before and after pictures. I honestly feel so happy about this because before I found metabolic balance, I was just putting money in my pocket and wasn't getting the results that my clients were looking for. And now I can honestly say somebody stepping on this program is going to get those results. And not only just the results, but they have a new way of thinking. They have a new way of eating. The way that they used to eat before, they worry that they're not going to be able to go have fun. I think you have to have fun in life, but this program really teaches you what's best for your body. And if you, let's, for instance, I had a client with migraine. She went off her plan the other day, just one day, and she got a migraine. And it was like, okay, when you add those foods back, it's going to cause a problem. So, the coaching is really essential to this whole thing, and everybody has their unique food list, and they get lots and lots of coaching. And last May, I had the honor to meet Nicole, who was explaining to me that she was in a bit of a spot and she was going to get married. And I thought, oh my God, I love brides because brides have come to me and they've got like 3 new dresses before they even got married because they kept losing weight. So Nicole, I'm going to bring you in right now. Let's hear what your story is.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jane. And
something we're getting an echo. You have maybe two.
Jane, I guess it's probably coming through Jane's microphone. Maybe, yeah. Maybe mute yourself. So yes, I was just saying, thank you, Jane, and thank you, Dr. Lauren, for having me on the show to tell this story because it's quite phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal. And Dr. Lauren, I've seen your before and afters, and yours is phenomenal too. And we all have these stories. But mine goes like this. So I was a fairly healthy person. I was educated. I know about healthy eating. I was pretty trim for my, 30s, all through that decade, really. And then even in my, first couple years of my 40s. But then I had a life change. I got divorced. I was in a new relationship. I have a little 9-year-old kid, and our diets changed drastically. Over the course of 2.5 years, I gained about 40 pounds, and I was entering perimenopause. So I have a whole list of symptoms I can tell you that I was experiencing, which we can get into. I'll let you know, what this really has done for me. But just how it started was I had known Jane's publicist for many, many years. And she had been visiting once, and she knew what I was experiencing, what I was going through, the challenges I was having. And she just, when this came forward with this book and it came up, she thought of me, and she immediately made this connection with Jane, which was the most life-changing thing that has happened to me. And I just want to say that, talk about resonance. First of all, this publicist called me on my birthday, had no idea it was my birthday. And the program was German. And I know a lot of the holistic medicine stuff comes out of Germany. So I've always been interested in that. I was about to get married to a German man. There were all these synchronicities. But when I learned about the program, it was like light bulbs going off again and again and again. And since that time, I've talked to a lot of holistic minded people. They have the same experience, because when you hear it, it resonates, and you know that it's going to make a difference. You know, if you eat this way, you're going to have a massive positive experience. And it's more than we've heard, but it doesn't contradict what you've heard before. And that's what's so, it can contradict certain things, but on the whole, there are elements of other things you've heard about, and they're all incorporated in this beautiful synergistic way when it's presented. So I immediately thought, this is the key. So I gained weight. I was getting married in a few months. I had already been trying on my own to lose weight. I had tried everything. I did keto for a long time. I tried to go back to veganism because I had been vegan for a long time before that. Nothing was feeling right anymore. None of the stuff that I was doing before fit anymore. And I knew I had to try something different, didn't know where to turn. Being educated did not help, right? Jane's had this experience too. You were a bona fide nutritionist. You were trained. You had done this for a long time. But like you said, there was that final piece. And so at that point, I was so determined to lose weight that when I bought my wedding dress, I bought it 2 sizes too small. And because I'm usually slight in my upper body, I usually carry it in the lower half. I was like, no problem. My rib cage is not going to change that much anyway. And it was a fit and flare type dress. So I'm like, this is my big plan. I didn't know how I was going to lose the weight. I just knew that I was going to do it. So when this came through as like the key to give me a path to succeed, I was obviously very grateful. I jumped right in. I gave it my all, and adhered to the program. The cool thing was Jane's book was so good that before I even got my plan, I started doing the 8 rules of metabolic balance, and I lost 10 pounds before I even got my plan and got started. So there's really something to the rules, and the diet itself. The way you eat is what starts to balance your insulin and change how your body is incorporating the foods that you eat. But then there's the custom ingredient list that comes from your blood test, and that's where it really gets interesting. So it'll start to correct a lot of things. I had all kinds of things corrected pretty quickly. One was hormonal. I immediately stopped taking all of my herbal hormone balancing supplements literally within a week. I didn't need them anymore. My energy was through the roof. I was no longer wanting to sleep in the afternoon. And like I said, I'm older. I'm 47 and I have a 9-year-old son. So chasing after him all the time is not the easiest thing to do. But I can now. I have energy for days now. I also had arthritis in my foot, in my arms, and my hands. I was a massage therapist for a long time. I got all kinds of, stuff in my body. And I just noticed the inflammation went away almost immediately. I was sleeping like a baby. And I just noticed my skin was like brighter. I felt younger. It was amazing. Truly, truly amazing. I could go on, but I will just tell you that by the time I got married, this was only about 2.5 months from the time I started my program to when we got married. I lost so much weight, and I was also posting my before and afters on social media. I had a lot of people just like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of supplements are you taking? Are you on Ozempic? What is this? And it was so satisfying to say, no, this is food, because I've always known about bio-individuality. I've always known that there's no one size fits all approach. And I've always believed that food is medicine first and foremost. So it just felt amazing to say, no, this is just diet. And it happened fast. So less than 2.5 months, I lost 35 pounds. And so out of that, amount that I gained over that relationship, it just was gone. I've just been back to the way I was when I met my husband, which is great. And he's lost weight too. He's done the program too. He's lost quite a lot. Started out 220 and now he's like at 189. I don't know. He looks great. My son went through it. He also lost about 7 pounds, which is great for a 9-year-old, but he's eating much better. I can't say enough things about it. Honestly, I'm just so grateful to Jane, to the program. I love the doctor that created it. He's a joy to watch talk. I mean, it's the best.
Nicole, what did it feel like?
I could say a lot
to
more,
walk
but I'll
down
stop
that
there.
aisle?
It was well, okay, so the room, I think, is a short aisle, but
Yeah.
everything leading up to it was okay. So what I didn't tell you is that I lost so much weight. I didn't lose 2 dress sizes. I lost 3 dress sizes. My dress was too big and I should have had it taken in, but I had been watching it. I didn't have anyone to zip it up in the back, so I thought it was still good. But when I got there that day, it was like it was hanging off my shoulder. And that was unexpected, right? So I was a very demure bride. I wasn't the voluptuous, like it wasn't as tight as I thought it was going to be, but I felt so beautiful. I felt radiant. I felt like I felt like I was better able to be a channel for this universal life energy. Like I felt it coming through me. Like I didn't realize that in the past, my crud feeling that I had all the time was actually blocking that energetic connection. And as soon as this happened, I was like, I felt light coming through me. And that day I felt it stronger than ever because I was getting married to the man of my dreams. And I think that really shows in, some of the photos that we have. It was everything, truly.
And how are you feeling now? I mean, overall, if you could say 3 top things that you walked away with, what were the 3 things you could say that Metabolic did for you? Metabolic Balance.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I'm still doing it. I'll probably be doing it forever because I love it so much. There's phases. So I'm in like the later phase. But I will tell you, it's the energy. And that says a lot, right? Because there's a lot of things that can zap your energy on a daily basis, from diet and everything else. But my energy has not waned ever. And I love talking about that because you can hear it in my voice. I mean, this is real. I mean, I could run circles around my old self. And the people I know that have gone through the program say the same thing. And they say that even when they go off of it here and there, they don't gain their weight back. So I know something has fundamentally changed within us from going through this.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I have a new client, one of the very first questions I ask them is, if energy is 10 out of 10, where are you at? And it's usually 4, 5, 6, or 7. And I'm like, but you're only like 29 or 35 or 42. This is kind of, we are born to be energetic. So when people start to go on the plan, just like you, I always ask them, even just 16 days of being on the plan, I cannot believe they say, oh my God, like you, I can run circles around my kids. And I personally too also have like so much energy all the time. It's annoying to people, but this is the beauty of this program because they're giving you food that comes from nature. So we know that if we eat 5 new food groups, frozen, fast, fried, junk, and processed, or we eat crap, carbonated, refined, addictive, and processed foods, we're not going to have any energy. And the beauty of this is this program contains such, beautiful food, and it's colorful food. So lunch might be avocado with chickpeas and green onions and cherry tomatoes and some mango and a piece of rye bread. I mean, it's beautifully colored. It's full of fiber. It's live food that's going to help a person achieve their desired goals. Now, again, every person gets a different food list, but you didn't have any hard time adjusting to the new food list, did you?
No, I love my food list. Oh,
and
sorry.
then when you eat something you're not supposed to eat, can you feel it right away?
Yes, I
what
can.
Happens? What happens when you do that?
Well, sorry, we have to mute me when I talk. But basically, first of all, if it's something that's not right, I will feel just a little heaviness. and I'll feel just a little bit more sluggish than when I eat the foods that are on my plan.
Okay.
But I will say that that's probably only for the foods that are really, really not right. But there's a other category of foods that maybe would have made me feel worse before, that now I can tolerate them because my digestion has actually gotten stronger through this program as well. So it's both. It's like when there's something really off, I can feel it, but I also feel stronger in my constitution for eating everything. I don't eat everything, but if I did, I feel like I'd be okay, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And the other thing, and because I love this, on your photos, you could see that there's a difference in how you look on your face too. So many clients start to look, 5 or 10 years younger. And who doesn't want that? Because when we remove the inflammation in the body, this is what happens. Because one of the things that it's encouraged greatly is each person's amount of water is calculated for them individually. So some people have gone from drinking like 2 glasses of water to 2 liters a day, or 8 glasses of water a day. So that makes a significant change. And what I also really love about this is that, when people start, because there's such a high inflammation marker, and they're not drinking water, and they're not maybe necessarily eating 3 meals a day, they can actually lose between 5 and 20 pounds in the first 16 days. It's like, everything just starts to work better, because once the bowel starts to empty, the lymphatic system works better, the circulatory system works better, the digestive system works better, everything works better, and anything that is unwanted is just going to will leave, And again, the nice thing about this, the difference between Metabolic Balance and some of the other programs out there, including Ozempic, they don't really necessarily teach you what to eat and how to eat, because yes, there are situations where people need to take that, but long term, we want to be able to really listen to the signs and the signals that the body's giving us for what to eat for the best energy that we can. And a lot of these other programs, you're just following it like it's a one shot for everybody, but it doesn't necessarily work for everybody because it's not customized for that individual.
Yep. And I will say it was great to have the proper measurement of my water and to have that be part of the plan, and know that if I didn't drink all that water, I wasn't going to be as successful because I'd been chronically dehydrated for probably my whole life. And I nipped that bad habit in the bud. Since I started this, I'm drinking enough water every day. And, I meet lots of people that are in the same boat. They don't realize that you need this for the cellular function. And that amount on your plan is really the minimum amount, just to make sure everything's working properly. And this is kind of a slight overshare, but I know for a lot of women, we're kind of like, it's like the stereotype that we're always running to the bathroom. Ironically, a lot of times this is a sign of dehydration. And that was one of the things that I noticed on the plan. I noticed it one day. We were like sitting in the movie theater, and I just noticed that I kind of had to go, but I was like, fine. I was able to hold it much, much, much longer. This is actually a sign of a healthy bladder and drinking enough water. There's whole books written about how much we need to drink this water, but it's nice on this plan to just hear it said, like, this is part of the plan. It's one of the rules. It's one of the 8 rules that you drink that water.
Yep. And let's be honest, the pooping thing gets so much better too. And everybody wants to have a big poop every day, right? And a lot of people come with like, oh, well, I go once or twice a week. This is not right. We need to be having these movements every single day. And what I find with all the clients that start that, they're like, oh my God, I feel so much better because these toxins are leaving your body daily and everything is more efficient. It's kind of like, if you think about your house, if you don't empty the garbage can out every week, things are going to back up. Same thing in your body. You've got to empty your own garbage can so things don't back up. And that back up comes with, not having mental clarity, not feeling good, even, poor digestion, not being able to sleep properly. All these things are related to how the bowels are functioning. And also in, just we need to make sure that the hydration is really at its greatest level. And it's funny because I drink a lot of water, and first thing I do when I wake up is I start drinking water. And the more water you drink, the more you realize how much water your body actually requires. And I'm really happy about that because, you know, it's funny, when I was growing up, nobody carried a water bottle around with them. Now everybody's got a water bottle, and yeah, the hydration itself alone can correct a lot of these things. Now, Nicole, also, can you talk a little bit about your blood values? Do you remember if any of those blood values were off and how they changed?
Yeah. So the one that comes to mind is, sorry, that echo, is the inflammation. So my inflammation markers were really high, which didn't really surprise me because of what I was experiencing. And that was one of the first things that started to correct on the diet. So inflammation is tied to all these different symptoms, and all the symptoms started to go away because the inflammation was going away. And Jane, you said something that made me want to share another insight about this program, which is that, you know, the way it works, you have a 2-day cleanse, and then you have your meal plan, and then there's 2 more phases that follow. But that 2-day cleanse is very powerful. But I find that the whole meal plan is a cleanse. The whole thing is a cleanse. The whole time you're on it, you are recalibrating, getting stuff out that doesn't belong. You have this very specific food plans that are coming in, but there's also a lot of things that you're not doing during that time. And it gives your body this amazing reset, this break from all the oils, not only unhealthy oils, but like oils that weren't the right oils for your body. I don't have olive oil on my plan. I have other oils that I have grown to absolutely love, including this flax oil that just makes me feel like $1 million. But when we traveled to the wedding, we drove, and the flax oil has to be refrigerated, and my husband and son had olive oil on there. So I'm like, well, we'll just do olive oil. It'll be fine. And so when we were there, literally within a day of eating the olive oil, my foot started to flare up, and I was wearing more heels, you know, because I was on vacation, and for the wedding, I was trying them on, and my foot hurt. And I thought, wow, you know, because I had heard that in the beginning. Jane, you told me that this wasn't on my plan because it would be inflammatory towards me. And I'm Italian. I'm like, what do you mean I can't have olive oil, you know? But it was true. It was real. And I felt the effects immediately. But yeah, so getting those oils out of your system that aren't supposed to be there is an amazing part of the cleanse. And the first 2 weeks on your meal plan, there's no oil.
So let me ask you this question. Would you be nervous about getting on a ship tomorrow and going on a cruise? Because this is a big question that a lot of people ask me. They're thinking, oh my God, the whole thing's going to fall apart. But I want you to talk about that because it's a really interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah, so it wasn't a cruise for me, but it was the wedding, right? So this was a change to where I was staying and access to my own kitchen, etc. But because you told me what to do, I was empowered to, what I did was I had my breakfasts and my lunches were on plan. And then I planned to have a dinner that was a little bit more of a treat meal. But even in that treat meal state, I was able to eat a mostly metabolically balanced type of meal. I was eating my bite of protein first. I was trying to get the ratio of protein to vegetables correct. So the biggest change was like, you know, you can't control the oils that are made when somebody else cooks the food. So it was a little off. But so I didn't gain an ounce back. You know, I might not have lost much on that during that period of time, but I didn't gain any back. And so that's my understanding about like what to do if you're going to travel. But I love that metabolic balance is real life. It's a lifestyle. It's meant to be, you know, allow for life to happen, which will, you know, we have family obligations. There's holidays. You know, I started right before, I mean, it was leading up to the holiday season, you know, so people have to navigate that. And there's a way. It's not hard. You know,
it's interesting because since I've become a metabolic balance coach, I've been all over Asia. I've been all over Europe. I've been so many places, and I never, ever, ever worry about gaining weight because you're always going to be able to get chicken. You're always going to get salmon. You're always going to get some vegetables. You're always going to be able to find an apple because these are just foods that are just the plant contains foods that are just things that you could find in your local grocery store. And then you learn to just stay away from certain things. And, you know, one of my big things when I travel is like, let's just say I got some salmon and I was able to get a salad. I always ask the cook, or if you're at an all-inclusive, can you bring me some avocado? Because the avocado is it's an amazing thing when it's on your plan. So you really can navigate this even in an airport, because sometimes it's tricky. But when you have this mental kind of way of thinking, you really do learn how to seek out and find the food that's best for you. Because sometimes if I can't find it, I'll wait till I get to my destination to eat something. But even in countries, I was in Bangkok for like a month last year. There's no problem at all. And you can find, there's always mango, papayas, apples, lettuces, cucumbers. It's quite an easy method, because it becomes second nature, because ultimately what you eat is going to affect you. And we can all know that by when you leave the restaurant on Saturday night and you're grabbing your stomach going, oh my God, you ate the wrong thing. You're supposed to leave that restaurant going, oh my God, I've got so much energy, I'm ready to go. Now, we're all going to have treats, don't get me wrong. I do believe that you have to have some fun. So now, what was really interesting through this very, very interesting set of circumstances, kind of unbeknownst to me and to Lauren, one day, somehow we got matched up on a podcast together. And it was like, he said to me, who are you? And I'm like, who are you? So we started to have this incredible conversation about health and wellness. And the next thing I know, here's Lauren. So Lauren, it was a magical moment for me to meet you. It's still a magical moment to know you, because I've watched the transformation in you, and I am so happy with your results. And you just are so inspiring. And I love your sense of humor about this whole thing, because there's a couple moments where, it gets a little hard, but you always saw the positive in everything. So, yeah. So,
yeah. And, when you said you like the way it all turned out, the results and stuff, I have to agree. Seriously, that makes 2.5 of us, and 1.5 of us, because I've lost half. So I'm still finding my way into the slimmer jokes. So, but even that right there, man, I really got shellacked into the container, the candy coated shell that protects the ooey gooey chewy Tootsie Pop center. That's what I got encased in. And I'm really glad, because I had the first set of data from 10 years ago. But the basis or the intent, some things were in the same lane and some were completely different, because I was 10 years different. I hadn't grown. Things show up in your life when it's time to know, because it's time to grow. So anyway, when this happened, I was already manifesting something. You see what I mean? That's why I don't glue it down. I don't glue my intent down until I'm a little ways down the road with it, because how do I know? If I knew too much about what was exactly right for me, I'd already been there. So how do I have a completely different insight as far as my intentions? Well, I was like, okay, I wasn't too specific about my results. 10 years ago, it was for a competition, and the decision was to win. That's what it was. Not because of any vanity thing or anything, but it was because I was the oldest person, 3,000 people, and the average age was 24. And really, I knew why later, when the top 10 were backstage and they were all 9 were over there. And they're like, I don't think that other one's coming. Only 3 of us left. The others are already out of stage. I was like, I just sat over the corner going, okay, because of the ageism. And so that's why it was also important for me, because to thine own self be true. All I really needed to know for an intention was the metabolism, and the program gave me the clue right in its title. Balance. Okay. But same thing that Nicole alluded to. When I hung, I'll tell this one for the rest of my journey. When I hung, and I brought over the pillars that I placed under my success 10 years ago. I kept them just like Christmas paper. No, that was my grandma. I do keep boxes though. Got a few right there. But I I brought the things that I knew just felt right beyond a cellular level, which I've always said and tied into molecular or metabolic. You see, ooh, okay. And I'm a woo-wee kind of person because I'm spirit-filled and I believe in divine gifts, but I also believe in divine opportunities. And I know that this is like a scavenger hunt, this journey for me. I chose that. So anyway, same starting weight. And I always look for coincidences. No, I look for dots that can be connected. I look for DNA that can be traced. That's what I do. You see? And I said 198.6. Huh? What are the odds? Exactly. In my favor is how I answer that. So the spiritual thing for me kicked in when I was hanging that. And that didn't happen with the food list didn't speak to me. I'm just keeping it real. But the results of doing it did. But this time, literally, when I hung it up there, I'm looking. Even stuff I had never heard of. I'm not afraid to say it. Gooseberries. Remember I texted you? What in the world's a gooseberry? Right? Sounds like a Dr. Seuss food. Right? And I'm like, what is this? Hey, what's the big idea? And I really felt compelled, called, and duty-bound to also report to you the dictator, the commentator, the saboteur. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I control the strings. They are Pinocchio, I am Geppetto. I didn't know that 10 years ago. So here's what happened. I was looking at it, and there was this knowing. Why do I feel, it felt familiar. Some promise I finally realized after a couple days. It was some type of an imprint, a birthmark that was left somewhere. Because think about it. The things that were talking were coded to match the language of this vehicle. So now all the woo-woo stuff, I'm not kidding you. It felt like I had come home from this, running to the grocery store or something in my spiritual world, and something had this old housed me. You know what I mean? Who put that porch there? When did we get floodlights? You know what I mean? Everything was upgrading. Just like that. And I am telling you, this was no normal thing. This was no fad. This was no, well, I don't like the word diet anyway. It tells you right in it, die. You'll die for it. I don't like them, no, those odds. But here, I took it already. This, same thing you heard Nicole say. I've been on albuterol since I was 9, right? And I used to have to wear masks long before COVID when I was a little kid outside in the summer and the spring. Allergies, pollen, and the ragweed, blah, blah, blah. And I had been using CBD topical for like this arthritis thing, because I found out years ago in the military, they did a blood panel and said, you're going to eventually deal with rheumatoid arthritis. So I knew it was coming. This finger was getting stuck, literally, like frozen, like locked. And I'll be honest, that still does a little every blue moon. Not enough. It surprises me when it happens. Let's put it that way. Okay. Because when those things don't seem like they can change in our minds, we start to resent them. We start to build calluses instead of transparency. And so that's why, too, for me, it's always been make myself accountable to thine own self, be true. And I have to be honest with myself to figure out where to put the Mrs. Garrett's. You know what I mean? Okay, here's something that's not right, come running. Because I thought it was important to let all of those legitimate things that the everyday person deals with when we're making the changes that are encouraged through this work. And see, you didn't see, I'm not going to say a program. I'm going to say this work. You know why? Because it took what I do every day, which is not go to work, what you get paid for. What I do every day is live within the work, which is what I was made for. And this thing clicked into it like a seatbelt. They knew each other. And I was amazed that I was learning something that was better than when I woke up during my colonoscopy 10 years ago, because that's what got me to the other one. I woke up and looked at the screen and was looking inside my body. And I got it. I told somebody, I said, can you imagine if we had transparent chests and stomachs? You'd be like, ooh, Jane, have you seen what's going on around that spleen of yours? You know, right. And so it was just, I wrote it down. It says right here. Oh, wait a minute. The food list literally spoke to me. It made me hear a language that instantly inside my soul, I started smelling new car smell. Like something was speaking to me right off the showroom floor. And I was like, huh. I like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And it just went from there. And then how do I put it up? Guilty pleasures, treat meal, code for guilty pleasures, y'all. I've been here cracking some of these little, riddle me this moments. Guilty pleasures began to transform into genuine disgust. I walked away from my treat wedges last night because I was like, ugh. You know, remember back in the olden days when frosting was called icing, and it'd be like lard on your tongue, and you spit the whole clump out. That's what those fries felt like last night. Like, oh my God, are you crazy? I've been seeing and feeling an attraction that I didn't even know I was capable of with raw vegetables, certain ones. The flavors. So we had carrots the other night, and we were ready to, like, y'all know, hang Mardi Gras beads or something. It was that good. Just a lot of unexpected things. All wonderful, all adventurous. And unlike so many other things within purpose that may not be expedient, and they may not be profitable, but they still remain in that coveted space of things that serve your soul, heal your soul. These kinds of perimeters, if you will, boundaries, well, they can protect you as you go through the rest of your journey in ways that real bodyguards could never do it. So, also a little note, what's the other? Oh, here we go. Oh, treat meals. Yeah, they also begin to feel like a trick question. Very first one I had, I started hiccuping. I'm calling you. I text Jane right there because my goal in this from the beginning is to punch as many of the little, those little crepe paper punch things, and you get a prizes, and you pull something out and it tells you what's on it. That's how I look at it when I go down through there. So I would challenge the real me. I would challenge through the real life stuff, because when you start going, I'm not throwing away that half of this because of some 4 grams or something. You know how expensive the president said the other day, groceries are out of line. No, absolutely not. Anybody got no money? And I grew up in that. Black households. If my mother see me put some stuff in the trash can and it wasn't completely brown, you getting a whooping. You know what I'm saying? But that's the culture. So we all have those things. But I'm going to tell you something. Here is what it is. That's the ring of truth right there in that bell. It wasn't hard. It felt like I was making a decision that was made back in the beginning, that was made once upon a time. And it has been amazing. Same results. Oh, and like feeling guilt. You know why I haven't felt any guilt? None about any of it. Because first of all, I speak it. I speak my frustration. Because better out than in. Treat your challenges just like eventually you'll treat them like victories, and they'll have small victories to celebrate consistently. But in the meantime, until you can get to that, I recommend, treat it like gas. Better out than in. There you go. And so tailor it to your personality, because look how it happened. the surfboard you're riding. Oh, another thing. Because of that resonance from the food thing way back, how do I know you? If we met, right. You know, did you used to live on Sycamore Street? You got a sister named Rita? Right. That kind of familiarity. Like an old friend. Someone from way back. That's experience. And when you can be inside of your own purpose, and then someone comes along and dips you, baptizes you within an experience, especially at 62, everybody's starting to wind down. Y'all hear me say it all the time. I'm trying to be the black ass male Betty White. Exactly. I already tried to die for half my life. The easy thing, you know, we only have to die once, but this side of it reminds us, but we have to live every day. Ding. Right. So no guilt so far, and I figured it out. You know why? Because this time there was zero guessing. See, guilt is attached to guessing. I wonder if it was when that's why the part where I could have taken it off of due north, I voiced it. I threw it right in front of Jane. That's what she signed up for. You see what I'm saying? Right. To thine own self be true. Same results. I got to 2.5 months, 35 pounds. 52-year-old black man. I mean, at 62 rather. I don't know how old Nicole is, but clearly nowhere near that.
47.
47. Okay, yeah. You did say your age. I can't remember now. So everything you see, I like to use little coinings of phrases and anything that can spark an image on the greatest screen in the universe, which is your imagination, which means use images. See it. That's another thing. I've started hearing my husband. Oh my goodness! I said, "Hey, stop now. Let's stop." Okay, go on. You know, he's like, "Oh, you look standing from the side every time I see something different," and it has just added so much to the way I know I'll approach this. I'm taking the rudiments from the first success. I plan on doing this every 10 years. And do things in between that will come out down there. This is one of the things that it will not visit me. It lives here. You see what I'm saying? I put it on the insurance. It can drive when it get old enough. You know what I'm saying? Right's gonna be in my will. And last thing, and then I'll toss it back over to you. Here's another wonderful thing that it has brought me. Because every time people talk about, I have so many friends that have gotten this. You realize how many people really do watch you. People in the grocery store. Right? She's like, yeah, I saw that food. I was like, what name do you use on right? Because you forget, you don't watch the numbers. But you know what it did? It honored the effort I put into demanding an experience. They all said, your food looks so good. Right. Because who was I really trying to trick? You should have seen me the first couple of days because Brian is on he gets his food in ounces. Wait, I get mine in grams. And I'm looking, and he's over there, honey, how are your cucumbers, mango, and cracker? And I'm like, just fine. How's your steak? Right? And then slowly, it began to shift. And you know what did the shift? The thing I could not understand at the beginning. That's stupid. Why would they say make sure you finish your meal within an hour? This little smattering, right? Not even 4 days later, I was like, ooh, I better set an alarm. I only have 4 minutes left. And 40% of it is still there. But remember I said that first treatment, I started hiccuping. I said, Jane, why would I say, you ate too fast? I started processing that. Yeah, you know why? Because I'm guilty, trying to clean up the evidence. You know what I mean? Right. Get it all. Ooh, get out of here. Out of sight, out of mind. You know that shit ain't no good for you. Right. You want to get rid of it. So it pushed me closer to a better me. Isn't that the purpose of this journey anyway? And now I can help ease even more suffering in the world. Because when people ask me, when I go around and they go, how much now? How much now? People I never knew were thinking. And also you hear from people, I don't know, you didn't look like you had that much to lose. So you also understand perspective. We see ourselves worse. Still true. That's why you want to be transparent. Organic feedback. And then the last thing too, I think I said that before, but really the last thing is this. I wake up every day now and I'm fulfilling what God, the universe told me a long time ago. Last thing, remember this. Whatever your dreams are, whatever your desires, take the dreams and weigh them against the desires of your heart, because that's a promise attached. I will give you the desires of your heart. But that means they have to be within your heart. You have to do it with your heart. You have to give it away with the spirit of heart. Okay? So do that and believe in the unbelievable. And you'll find it. I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you. So the egg thing didn't mess with me. I thought with the grocery, I had some misperceptions. I was like, isn't it too expensive to eat healthy? Organic. How do you know if it's organic? Just be sticking that note on it. How we know that little sticker, that thing? You gotta put it in the old thing. Yeah. I put it in, and then my husband, and then I said one day to my husband, I said, honey, you remember when bottled water first showed up? And we were like, it'll be a cold day in hell before I pay for water. It's free. Right over there. Never say what you won't do or what it cannot be. So that's it. And I say this. My next goal on the change out the mindset train is this. I believe that this metabolic thing is going to help me shed my misconception that I'm not techie at all. I feel more youthful. See, the thing is, for an older person like me, Jane, I'm sorry, but I got to include you in there too. In our world, we're indigenous. I mean, we're not indigenous. Like, well, yeah, Nicole, I think you're kind of indigenous. But the younger ones, they're indigenous to this world. We are aliens. We lived in a different world. Things they never saw. TV going off at night. Coming back on at 5. All kinds of things. They don't know Mrs. Olson's good to the last drop like we do. Imperial, margarine, all those things. You see? So the great thing is now I feel like I can keep up a little bit better. I can. I feel like I have an ace in the hole now because I got introduced to the voice of reason. And trust me, when you really find out why it's on your list or not, they will always give you a reason. See? Voice of reason. And that's it.
Wow, Lauren, you're amazing. I love how you've gone through this program. I love how we've had there was moments where it was challenging, right? Or I was texting, he would send me a picture and I was like, I don't think those foods are on your list.
It's only 3 raspberries. No, it's 3 blackberries. They take a pill. Jesus Christ.
I saw them, but then
wait.
Yeah.
Can I just tell this part? Wait a minute.
Okay.
It will stay in my world forever. I said that about the blackberries. Whatever, Jay. And Brian's over in his corner going, honey, be nice. And I'm like, nice my ass. And then I said, and then ding on my phone. I said, I'm sure it's her. And guess what you sent back? Okie dokie. In other words, have it your way, right? And then about 10 minutes later came part 2. You might want to pay close attention to your respiratory and your respiratory tomorrow. You said what? I was like, I'm still mad, right? Bye, right? And guess what? First time since I started, I woke up and I went reaching for the Kleenex box to get it out. And there was no Kleenex box because I took it away because it was taking up space. I had something else to put their book or something. See what I'm saying? And then I was like, so there you go. There you go. It will put the proof you need where you need it so that you can grow beyond what you can see. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you hear that voice, we both experience it in our own way.
Mhm.
It is through insight. Because it came from inside your body. Where everything instinct, intuition. I knew it was the right thing instantly. Inspiration.
Yeah, and one of the challenges that I have, well, it's sort of a challenge. When clients come in for the first time, they say to me, I've tried absolutely everything and nothing works. So what's unique about metabolic balance, though, is it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what's going on. You can still reset your metabolism at any age and see and feel significant changes within the first 14 days. Now, Lauren, let's talk about that little bit in the beginning that we did. So we have a 2-day cleanse.
Yeah.
And then we have 14 days where we have no exercise, which is shocking for lots of people. And we also we don't add any oils in those first 14 days. So, but this is the time where people can lose between 5 and 20 pounds in those first 2 weeks. Like even clients with eczema, psoriasis, like it's almost completely gone. But let's talk about your experience with that, because I know that this was a change, but we also knew, and I kept saying to you, food is your medicine right now. This is only a temporary thing. But what was your experience with those first 2 days and then the next 14 days?
Well, first I want to put this out there, that whoever that is, I tried everything and nothing changed. Well, first of all, that's the first lie to yourself.
Yeah.
How did you try everything? How do you know? And it didn't change anything. How do you know it's over? So I said to thine own self, be true. You got to start. That's an entry point. That is something that we say that determines what we believe. Because you step on it. The next time you move down that same path, you cast it out in front of you. So keep that in mind. The first 2 days, there was no intimidation. I was looking, first of all, I was encouraged because the little packet for, like your colonoscopy cleanse thing, that jug that they sent. I was like, why couldn't they have just used this? See, I knew it, right? You know what I mean? So I think I'm practicing my crotchety old man of 90 already, which is encouraging. So it's all within the plan, the manifestation machine. You'll see. So, but I like catching. I like catching the clues. Catch it. Could this be? That's how everything that we can touch started on that screen. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine what it would feel like with 35 pounds off this? See, it didn't scare me this time. I got scared into the thing last time because I caught myself one morning by accident with no shirt on. I had it set up where I didn't look in the mirror. I shaved and brushed my teeth in the shower, and I did not dress in front of a mirror. And I turned around. Girl, I thought it was a black Alfred Hitchcock standing in there. Good evening. Oh, right. And I literally scared myself. I said, oh, no. You got to go. You see, so I started identifying a choice. Because when you name something, it works for you. Send
I feel like
plan. Check yours. So just great stuff. And Jay, can I ask you a question? Turn the tables real quick.
Yep.
Because I have sneaking suspicions, but I don't want to assume for agreements. Ding. But is there a common thread that connects a lot of the people you've worked with as far as these inexplicable, these, I call them sacred moments, because they make me go, I literally have watched these things just strolling. Excuse me, I'm sorry, That's how they come in. And I'm like, wait a minute. I realized I'm not where I thought I was. I'm not around the voices of the things I thought I was. I'm in a new place. Seriously, these things come in like the raw vegetables. And I tried rebellion the other day. As soon as I realized, you were right. As soon as I realized, she is always, I don't know how she does it, but I said, I'm ready to relax. I got up to my waist and said, well, I really like you, Sarah. I want to relax. Cereal aisle all over again. I want Captain Crunch. Right. What did I do the very next day? Scale way over there. Oh, now it's a 2, won't matter. Ain't nobody in here anyway. Nobody. Then who are you looking around from? Oh, right. So I'm telling you, all of the land mind, those voices now work for me because they are identified. They come ahead of me to check the roadway for IUDs, things that can blow up my intention.
So back to your question, there definitely is a common thread. And I would say it's people who want more out of life. People who want more energy, vitality, more self-love, more self-worth. They want to not feel in any shape or form ashamed of their body. They want to love themselves, warts and all. That's one of my lines I've always used. They want something better. They know that they have the potential for so much more, for whether it's spiritual growth, emotional growth, physical, strength, stamina. Like, I have clients who just come because they just feel crappy, and they know that they have the potential to be more and to have more, but they don't know what to do because they're stuck. And everything they've tried, and there's so much information in the world today. And I guess we could even turn that over to Nicole. Nicole, what was it? What was it at the cellular, at your soul level, that really attracted you to this?
Yeah, I think it's true that for a lot of us, we either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And I think I've always been a growth mindset person. So, and I actually had weight issues growing up. So when I say I was in a place of being kind of fit for a while in my 30s, that was a lot of journey to get there. So because I had that success, to start to lose it again, at this point in my life where I was happy, I had everything going for me, but then my health was just taking a nosedive, that was not going to stand. I knew deep down, I knew that I was going to fix it. I didn't know how, but that couldn't live within me. And I know that our mindset and that we create our own problems, right? I mean, I knew that. So I'm like, okay, I know I have to do something about it. And rather than, turning to this saying, metabolic balance, please fix me, Jane, please fix me. I knew that I was willing to do the work, whatever it took. And I think that is a big part of why I was so successful so fast. And Dr. Lauren, you have, you're saying a lot of the same things. I feel like there's this element of like, get busy living or get busy dying, and you had this moment of realization of like the connection between this mindset and healing, and then the food, and this is the one thing that this program is solving for is the food. Is we're solving for the food. And I think also I did feel that connection with Jane. Like, I feel like I've known you a lot longer, and I feel your heart that is wanting to be of service. And that really resonated with me. And everybody in this community that I've met, they're similar types of people. They want to be of service. They love helping other people. And just quickly wanted to speak to this idea of being apprehensive about the plan versus the reality of when you actually start doing it. So everyone I know that's done it has had that same kind of initial fear at first when they see it. And then as soon as they start implementing it, they're like, you know what? It's not that hard. It's not. And they enjoy when you experience eating those foods that make you feel good. You don't want to eat anything else because you want to feel good, right? And I miss my food when I don't have it. And your taste buds change, right? So I used to loathe Granny Smith apples. That's the one kind of apple I wouldn't touch. Now I eat them almost daily, and I love them. I literally just made these I got these little apples. Anyway, they're little stress toys with the Metabolic Balance logo on them. I love the apples. And the plan's just interesting. I have no milk on my plan, but I have no cow milk or any milk, but I have cow yogurt and also sheep and goat yogurt. But it's so specific that, that when you eat those foods that are really specific to you, you feel so good. Dr. Lauren had the same thing with not wanting to throw away the scraps. My husband too, it's tough. It is a mindset. You have to, and I was keeping these little bits for a future meal, but it doesn't always work. And I've wished that I had a dog at different times to like help with these scraps, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I love too, that there was no guessing, just like you said, there's no guesswork. It's all right there. It's so complete. And that builds confidence and allows you to relax and know that exactly what to do, and know that it's going to be right for you. So I'm really happy for you that you found this, and I love seeing your results. It's really, really cool.
And the other thing I was thinking of as you were talking, one of the questions that I like to ask people when they have decided to do this program is, what was the pivotal moment that you decided to reach out to me? And usually it's something that really strikes them. But the part that sort of is unsettling for me is there's a deep unhappiness, a deep feeling that they're lost or they're overwhelmed, that they're never going to be able to, achieve those goals that they have set out for themselves. So it's a really interesting conversation. I think in lots of people, they'll say things like, I was at the beach and my friend asked me if I was pregnant. There are people who say these things to people, and this is the moment where she decides that she needs to do something about this. But, so many of us today are not happy with how we feel. And I think that, with this type of program, you can change every aspect of how you feel and feel so empowered to, and even go on have a treat meal. Because what happens is you do the plan for the 14 days with no oil, no exercise, and then you're allowed this one treat meal a week. And then sometimes, the treat meal doesn't turn out so good. You don't feel very good, but people learn very, very quickly what's going to work for their body and what doesn't work for the body. So this is a nice thing about it, because I have a client right now. She's almost at 100 pounds, which is amazing. And she was on steroids for the whole time, which makes it even more challenging to lose the weight. But every single Saturday night, she eats and drinks whatever she wants, and then she's back on her plan the other day. So there's lots of flexibility with this program. And the other thing that's really wonderful, if you don't want to eat cheese, or you don't want to eat chicken, or you don't want to eat meat, you can take that off. So you're not married to a food list that you don't like. Now, things like gooseberries, and there's a few funny foods in there. And for those listeners today who don't know what a gooseberry is, it looks like a large green grape. And if you've ever gone to a restaurant and they had cheesecake, they usually put it on top, two little ones, and it looks like it's got crepe paper around it, but they're very, very tart. But even the fruit list that Lauren got and you got, Nicole, is very specific to your body, because some might get one fruit a day, which is an apple, and some might get 30. And then they come back to me and say, how come I don't have blueberry, raspberries, strawberries, or bananas? These are not the food that are foods that are given to you on your plan are the best foods for your biochemistry. Because remember, every food that's given to Lauren and given to Nicole and to all the people in this program has a high biological value, a low glycemic index. In English, it means you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel full. You're not going to be hungry. This is the other problem with some of these other programs out there. They don't get enough food. So by the time dinner rolls around, you eat more than you should. So you're going to keep your insulin levels balanced for that 5-hour window in between. And we do that specifically to wait the 5 hours, because we want the insulin levels to drop very low. When insulin levels start to drop low, you get more into fat burning as opposed to fat acquiring. So there are some specific rules for that. Lauren, what was the hardest rule for you, or the easiest rule for you?
All of it. I was just thinking about it. You're uncovering a lot of things that I thought during or before or whatever weren't that important, especially since I was trying to capture as much as possible. So it's interesting. All of it, because here's the deal. The trust was everything. And if you have done the work to not question your first mind, which is connected to the creator. And if you believe that the creator created what you have here, why wouldn't the voices match? Why wouldn't the messages match? Why wouldn't it? I put what happens there. That's the triplet of the individual fingerprint or that drop of your DNA. That voice is undeniably unique to you. Because in a whole different way, not the one, because you got to understand, this is beyond the cellular level. This is a multi-dimensional experience, whether you believe it or not. I suggest starting that change of mindset, should you need to, by picturing a paint strip, or, different shades or neighborhoods as you go through this thing. But I want to say this. Here's some of the mystical stuff that I said all that to say this. When it went, I was, oh yeah. How it was tying into, well, first of all, I always saw instantly, like with the hiccups and stuff. Every time the light came on, need to know because it's time to grow, right? The hiccups. I didn't know. So I found that there were econ classes, built-in education, geography, built-in education, gooseberries, what's that? Right, life science, organic, this, that, and built-in, all of it. Suddenly, this is me talking, the person who last time I did this 10 years ago, when I wanted to feel that connection, here's how I got it. I went to the grocery store, how people in the healthy lane, you're off the perimeter living for you in one of the danger zones, right? You in the hood, all the death stuff. And I'd see them in their little gym clothes and stuff. And I would sit down there, I'd stand down, didn't know what the hell I was looking at. It could have been upside down, right? Because I was trying to learn a language that is foreign to my soul. I didn't have to learn that language. It learned me. Oh, thank you for taking that off my plate. No pun intended.
And it just becomes you. And you can, I'm sure, Nicole, you can resonate with this. It just becomes such a part of your thinking, your everything that you do.
Yeah.
I know that if I'm going to go somewhere, I never worry about, oh my God, what kind of food they're going to have there. I won't be able to eat it. I don't even think that way. I just know what's going to be best for me. And I will do my best in those circumstances and not beat myself up if I fall off the wagon, because life is a journey. There are no mistakes in life. There are just lessons. So we just learn as we go, but then it starts to become who you are. And it drives you to more. So I really do believe this, that it just drives you to more self-love, more self-worth. You feel more confident walking down the street. And, we do add that exercise component after day 16. And for a lot of people, just walking makes a humongous difference. And they're like, oh, geez, I actually feel so much stronger. I sleep better. I feel better. So we're not talking about the hardcore exercise. Lots of people still do that with this program, but we can just gently go take the dog out for a walk, do this. But when we do this, it physically starts to change our body and our mindset. And that's what I love, because long-term clients, they know exactly what to do long-term. And now you're entering phase, Nicole's in phase 4, which is the maintenance part. Now, Lauren, you're going into phase 4, and we now will gradually incorporate new things, but it's not like you're going to fall off the wagon in 3 months. You're going to know exactly what to do. And you always have your plan, because that plan was made just for you. And Nicole's plan was made just for you. And I
have to, because they won't leave me alone. They're like, throw this out there right now, because somebody, get ready. We're playing Frisbee. It's on its way.
Yeah.
Somebody needed probably a woo-wooer. These other 3 components of the thing. Because you're going to the science part. We all know when they go there, that jargon, that, she's, yeah, right, nutrition, da-da-da. Mm-mm. And I know there are others, but look, imagine this. Everything it took away, I saw it as like barnacles being chipped off the bottom of my ship, my vessel, which made me more streamlined, okay? Which made everything become more efficient. Now, the next little clue was this. It all felt natural. All natural. Because the choice was the first one. Everything after that is called second guessing and second nature. In this particular case, with both of these scenarios, second place is the first loser. See it like that, so you stay away from it. And lastly, this was a big one, because it tied into a lot of stuff I was already had learned through emotional parts of my journey. It started creating a tapestry. I got my book title I've been waiting 23 years for, and the word tapestry is in it because it brought this out. Listen to this. Last thing. Remember you said about feeling is how you feel? Mm-hmm. I've always been told, Lauren, teach that, because things we feel are places. Faith is a place. All the things that can go with us as we go forward from here are things you feel. And you usually leave that for other people to find so they can feel it. But things we touch, all the stuff in the wars, those are all things that stay behind. This body is going to stay behind. The spirit is going to go forward. Mm-hmm. So thing B is like, oh, everything has perfect pitch.
Can I share something? Dr. Lauren, I feel like what's really happening is you're grounding and simplifying. And where the food fits into that, it becomes simpler, more direct, more intuitive. And because, you talk about reading labels. I mean, when you're eating an organic apple, an organic piece of chicken, you don't even have to read the label. You're just eating simple, clean, healthy things. And it fits with what you're trying to do spiritually. You know what I mean? It's just, it's direct. It's simple. It's clear. It's, your intuitive self knows this stuff. Right. And, the way that our foods are in this country at the moment, a lot of people, they don't really just, they buy what they buy and they eat what they eat, and they don't really stop to think about it. And you've now just had a chance to do that. But I want to also say something that's kind of funny. When you're doing this, working with Jane as your coach, and you're like, why can't I eat this extra couple grams or whatever? Or why can't I eat this? Or why can't I eat that? It's like, it's not her telling you. It's your own blood work saying,
exactly,
eat this, don't eat that. And that's pretty cool. Talk about being connected with yourself, and when you really realize that, then there's nothing to resist, right? Because it's not someone else telling you something. You're telling yourself. It's this cool loop, of information. Anyway,
what it feels like? The Bible story about the Tower of Babel or Babel, where all the people were there and different. It was like all the things that are adulterants. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That block their blockers. They see no evil, this, that, and the other. That's the trick. That's the stuff in our stuff. They use those words, making us think we're all saying, stay blind, stay deaf, stay mute, and you won't stay here. You know what I mean? Oh no, joke's on you. You see what I'm saying? Right. Change out the language. Start here or start here. Wherever you start, you're going to switch them both.
You outsmart the system. You outsmart the system. You cheat the system when you actually realize that you are the most powerful, capable, amazing human being. And, you just have to get all the programming out of the way. And, you can live a lot longer than they tell you can. You can do a lot more than they tell you can do. So you have to tune out the noise. And that food and those bad foods in the grocery store, they're noise. They're just noise.
Yeah.
You're tuning it out.
We're going to take a short but powerful break. We'll be right back to round out the rest of today's conversation with Jane and with Nicole and with you. So if you have a burning desire or something you just need to get out, now would be that time. We're going to give you all of the connectors to Jane and how you can find out more, because I know you want to find out more. We'll be back in just about 2 minutes. Don't go away. Run to the bathroom, get a drink of water, check your phone. Be back in your seat in 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Glad you hung around. Jane, I thought we could move into the lane where I saw, in my sacred circle anyway, the law of attraction kick in, the beckoning, if you will, the thing that people reached for first. And it was the same thing I reached for. And I am speaking of the book. You know what it was about it? It felt like Food and Wine magazine always felt to me. You know what I mean? I just couldn't wait for it to come. That kind of, and it was the image. See, when you give people something they cannot unsee, and they're glad to not be able to unsee it, you've done something. And so talk about the book, the inspiration, and which came first? The stuff that's inside this cookbook, or your work origin with the metabolic balance people in Germany? I'm just curious.
That's a great question. And I will tell you that something began to bubble up in my heart, and it started to come out of my pores. And I knew that I could not ignore this message. People wanted more information, not just my own clients, but I thought this program needs to be known. It needs to be out there. People need answers because they don't have the answers that we're looking for to manage what the health crisis is in the United States and in the world. So it came out of a real desire to help people, but I also felt that I wanted to help people who wanted to take another step by giving them these recipes that they could start to use right away. So what's unique about this book, these recipes are individual recipes. So you don't have to make dinner for 8 or dinner for 5. You make one recipe for yourself. You do have to weigh the food, but you can get a scale that's grams, pounds, ounces, but the program, it is European. So we do have, look at those apple pancakes. Apple pancakes, unbelievable. But the magic of it is that when they start eating this way, and in the beginning of the book, there is all this information. So I created the information of metabolic balance in really easy way for people to understand, including those 8 rules, including the 4 phases of the program. And I knew I was to be the person that had to birth this program. And there's Lauren's program right there on his refrigerator. So everybody gets 3 breakfast choices, 3 lunches, 3 dinners. And then the following pages, it tells you what. So if it says vegetables, it'll give you like 20 or 50. If it says fish, it'll give you all the different types. So he will choose and just pick and mix and match in there. So Metabolic Balance Germany, where they created this program with over 25 years of research, put this program together, and it's changed the lives of millions of people. And when I became a coach, there weren't that many here. I actually live in Canada, and now we have so many people doing this program, and we have so many happy clients. Then these clients just tell their friends because they finally found something that works for them. Because we've all gone to a restaurant, we sat beside our friend and wondered, how can you eat that cheesecake? If I eat that cheesecake, I'm just going to gain weight. Well, it's because they have a different biochemistry than you do. So certain things, and also your activity level and how much muscle you have, and all of these things are all taken into consideration in the generation of the plan. So there's Lauren's grocery list. There's his plan in the nice, beautiful purple binder, all divided into the sections. I've had people want to lose just 2 pounds, and people want to lose 100 pounds. People who have like multiple medications that are going on and multiple problems, and all of them, each one of them is addressed. So I just felt that it was something that the universe wanted me to do. I couldn't ignore it, and I knew this was going to come. It took a long time to create this book. And it just came out in December. And the beautiful part is that it became a bestseller on USA Amazon and Canada Amazon. And then it also became USA Today. It became a bestseller. So we were like, this is incredible, because people are hungry. People want the truth. People want to understand why is everybody talking about metabolic syndrome?
Oh, the audience is cheering. Oh,
We're
I
cheering
guess
for your
that's all
book.
for you.
Oh, that's a
It's
cheer.
a great book.
Yeah, they were applauding.
Yay!
They
Yeah.
The
were
book is
applauding.
so the recipes are really tasty. I will say that. It's beautifully presented, but they're really good recipes. Dr. Lauren, are you eating them? Because I mean, like, are you using them to cook your meals? Because man, there's good stuff in there.
Well, let's just say, clearly you haven't seen my
The truth?
pictures. No, I
Hey,
know.
can we
But
see
you
your
know what,
before and
though?
after pictures today, Lauren?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I will. I'll show them. No, but I meant my pictures I post of the food, and I got that inspiration. I've always done that because the last time, one of the things I hacked was how much joy I added to the experience when I made sure I had to chop, peel, or dice something every meal because it connected me with, and I put little things in. If you can't see through it, gravies, dressings, things like that, sauces. There's another trick to it. All these little things. So it was when I saw this book. That's why I always look at the thing that comes in first because you don't forget a first. You see, so I look at it, it's like, ooh, it's anointed. Best way to put it because it's the truth. Because again, same thing that Jane used in here is the same thing I heard in here. In here. So wherein you have two or more and it's consistent. When you have things that are similar, it just means that eventually one of them will be unnecessary. But when you have two things or more that are identical, you're inside of divinity. You're inside of purpose. Okay, so Jane.
Yes.
Where, what, how should the first step be? What do you recommend? Before and after. That's right. Let me show you guys real quick. Wow, I thought I'd be jumping at that too. I almost forgot to do it. I'm really happy. I'm not kidding. So there's the good evening. Hey, good to see you, Alfred. And then again, it was what's my favorite? 57 days later, I took this photo.
Wow, just wow.
Here's the side, and here is
Wow.
So cool. I love it.
the new side. And 10 years ago, now when I go back into the gym, he'll come in. But like I told people after I said it out loud, and the world just happened to be with me on bathroom moments and heard it. But instantly, when I picked up this picture, to thine own self be true. I said, I'm not trying to look like him per se, but I sure know that I can feel like he did or better.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going for. Right. So Jane, the website, tell them about what they'll find. We'll get that up for them.
So on the website, they can order the book directly from the website. And they also get free 5 gifts when they do that. They can also book a free 15-minute consultation. They can email me to set that up, or they could use my calendar that's on the website. But I always like to give people like that free 15, 20-minute consultation just to see if this is a good fit for both the client and for me, and to help clarify some of the things that they don't understand about the program. Yeah. So they can order books, they can book appointments, they could order lots of books too if they want to. But
yes. Well, wait a minute. That's actually a really great suggestion. Because we've already been talking about it because we had a baby shower a couple weeks ago. Graduations. Kids, people leaving, going different places. Class reunions, family reunions.
Planning a wedding.
Yeah. Seriously. I just
wedding
love
gift
it.
or a engagement gift.
I just love it.
Yeah.
So I kind of took over here and
that's okay. That's okay.
Jane, get some stuff. Jane, when you look over your shoulder to the work you've done with this work, and you see all of just a plethora of success stories, when you gaze out across that harvest, do you count yourself in your own journey with the metabolic balance with the rest of us?
Absolutely.
Right.
Like it's been, I learned so much from each and every person. it takes me on a whole different journey. And yeah, I love the things that I have learned from this program. And I love that, you know, I'm getting up there in age, but there's something in this program that makes me want to continue to do this for a long time. I should be retired by now. Well, I should be, but I'm not going to do that. But I just feel that there is so much more to do in this world. And this is the way that I want to be of service in the world. And I'm just happy to help people on that journey and take them, I always say, from zero to hero. So, because this is what we're all looking for, you know, that one thing. And I truly, you know, and I'll finish with this. My mother, there was 9 kids in my family. She was on a diet her entire life. I'm telling you, it was cantaloupe and cottage cheese. And I thought, you know, she passed away a couple years ago. I thought, if she just found this program, she would have been able to enjoy, because half the time the company was coming over and she's like, I can't eat this, I can't eat this, I can't eat this, I gotta take this, I gotta do this. It's like, Mom, stop. But you know, it would have made such a difference for her. And this is the beauty of this program. This is the one thing you only ever have to do. And 10 years from now, if you want to redo it and redo your bloods, we can do that. But metabolic balance works because it is customized and individualized for you. And then of course the coaching helps tremendously too. So
And Jane, because you've been out here sharing this, my mother ended on it, as you know, and she has lost, you know, 25 pounds and counting, and she was in that same boat, you know, and it's just amazing for me to see that. It's amazing. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So thank you for all your hard work and for getting this out there.
Yes, and thank you guys for being such great clients. You made me laugh, and you made me, you know, do some research from time to time. Lauren, you kept me on my toes, I'll have to say, but it was all good. I was watching you. I was watching those things you were posting. I was looking for stuff.
Yes. Yes. And it was an organic thing. So I'm saying, you know, you guys, hopefully you'll hear more, because I plan on saying it from the rooftops. Really. As we get out of here, I want to remind you, everything in life is an opportunity. Everything in life is an experience. Everything in life is a miracle. But everything in life is a choice. Make yours today. You are manifesting for the version of yourself 30 years from now. When you get there, they'll be waiting, and they will thank you for decisions like showing up today. So get out, find an E and an R. Take everything from great to greater, bright to brighter, smart to smarter. And my personal favorite, kind to kinder. Now tell a friend, get out of here, get over to Jane. JaneHealthCoach.com. We have already dropped the email to get the ball started in your comment section. Click on it. Go over and book with her. All right. Jane, thank you. Please keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Hey, are there plans for a second cookbook ever, or too early?
Not quite yet. You never know.
How long did the book take you?
4 years.
Okay, I think you said that. Okay. Listen, thank you so much. Nicole, it's so nice to meet you.
So good to meet you.
Stay in touch.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
You too.
So long.